Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. And so please let me know if you cannot see my screen. I will uh let everybody in the chat be able to talk to me. And let's see, so that's good. All right. So thank you for joining us. I have 3 people on the call. I have Lindsay from Florida and Leah Gibson. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is DepositLink training, and the chat is open if you have any questions. I like to do an interactive. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know and we'll go from there. But what I like to start with is um how you get into DepositLink. Now, when you become everybody at LAER has a DepositLink um account. Everybody at LAER has a DepositLink account. So if you're watching this, know that you do have a DepositLink account. What happens is once you're onboarded, I do set you up on DepositLink. They send you an email, but don't worry if you can't find the email. If it's been a while and you never used DepositLink, all you have to do is just go to the website depositlink.com and you log in using your LAER. 90% of the time, it's your LAER email. Florida, it's whatever email you use on a regular basis, but 90% of the time, it's your LAER email is how you log in. But I want to give you just a little bit of background about DepositLink, what DepositLink, when it started. Okay, so in 2020, when COVID hit and nobody wanted to touch paper or anything like that, obviously for many reasons, nobody was traveling, people weren't, it was very difficult. So Stacy immediately looked for a way for us to get funds without people driving to offices, writing checks, dropping off checks, and she found DepositLink. We've been using DepositLink since COVID. And we were one of the first brokerages to use this. No one even knew what DepositLink was, but Stacy found out what DepositLink was, and that's how we got through the COVID. And everybody loves it. Now, since then, all of the other brokerages are jumping on board and they're asking, does your company use DepositLink? Well, we've been using DepositLink for 5 years now, and they're just now getting on it. So it's basically the way I like to explain what DepositLink, it's like a commercial Venmo account. Basically, you're just taking funds from one account and you're bringing it to the LAER account. So it's like a big commercial Venmo account. You do have to belong to the brokerage and we do have to sign you up. So we've signed you guys up. So you just go to depositlink.com. You're going to put in your email address. Like I said, 90% of it's going to be your LAER email, Florida. It's the email that you use mostly. And then you just sign in. If it's the first time you're signing in, you will have to set up a password. Just hit the forgot password and it'll help you to set a password. So I wanted to go over that too. So once you sign in, you have to set this up. This is a 2-factor authenticity. They're sending me this, and this is just for your protection. So don't get aggravated with this because they're just trying to protect you. So once they do that, if you working at home and you use your laptop, remember this machine. So we'll remember that I won't have to do this next time I log in. So this is what I see because I'm an admin. So let me log out. I'm going to log out of this because I want to log into my my training app. My training one, which I hope it saved the password because I don't have it. Oh, all right. It didn't save the password and I don't know it. So I'm going to go back. I'm just going to go back to this one. Now, this is an admin account, but what you do is once you're in here, it automatically goes to deals. This would list all of your deals, your previous deals. So there's two ways to do deposit link, which we prefer, which is we prefer that there's the traditional way and then there's more modern way. I prefer the traditional way, which is to make the request. You, as the listing agent, reach out and send the request to the buyer agent. And I'm going to show you why I like that. So all you're going to do is you're going to go to request to payment and you're going to hit earnest money deposit. There is a drop down. And this is what you're going to see. Let me just move this on yours. This is how yours will start. So once you hit requests for payment and then you hit the earnest money deposit, this is what your screen will look like. Now, for training purposes, I know that we had somebody had one today. It was so when you start typing in, you're going to pull up addresses. So let me pull up one that I know. Okay. Now, notice how I started typing it in, and if it's on the MLS, this is connected to the MLS, so it's going to pull the addresses. It's just has access to their database, so it's recognizing that 15 Burns Avenue in Springfield is a listing. Now you can click that and then it's going to give you options. It says existing deal. So there's a deal going on with Peter Marino or create a new deal. Obviously, if this is the first time you've ever done this, you're going to create a new deal. But let's just say I'm going to do this as 1, 2, 3, or 13 test or training. Now notice that this street isn't in here. So I am going to go back, sorry. Let me go deals. I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to go back to here, earnest money deposit, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to pretend it's not in here. I just want to give you a property that's not in here. So it's not in here. It didn't pull up. So you can enter it manually because sometimes you're going to be doing a FISBO and it's not going to be on the MLS. So it gives you the convenience that if it's in the MLS, it fills in all the data for you. If it's non-MLS, then you would hit manually and you would just put in the address. I'm just going to put this in 123. I just do Test Street. This is just for me. So that's the address, and I'll put, okay. So now I'm going to continue, okay? And it's this easy. All you do is just fill in the prompts. So you're creating a new deal because there was no existing deal found. Now, if you do like, I know in eastern part of the Massachusetts, there's a binder check with the offer and then they do the purchase and sales check. So that's where this comes in. So it says no existing deals found. So if you did request the earnest money deposit, you can go in here and when you type in the address, it's going to have an existing one. You're going to hit that because now you want to collect the purchase and sale monies. Okay. But in setting this up, we'll pretend that this is the first one. We're just getting the binder escrow check. So select an office. You have to select an office of where you are. So I'm going to put East Long Meadow office, and then you have to find your name. So here I am right here. You're going to find your name, okay? And this is all important because it auto fills things for you. So you are the listing role, and so then you just hit continue. Now somebody had this open and it was blocking the continue button and they couldn't see it. If you just X out of that, it'll get rid of that so that you can hit this. So if this chat button is covering the continue button, Just X out of it, and then you'll be able to continue. Again, this is a boilerplate, and it's so easy. You're just filling in the blanks. It's like so easy. And you can do this under 3 minutes. So here, obviously, usually it's $1,000. Now, this automatically defaults to a deadline. I would not touch the deadline. I would leave that alone. It actually gives them 48 hours, and I think that's plenty of time. They know this money needs to be here, so I would just not play with the default. Unless you know somebody's on vacation, you want to give them a couple extra days, you can. But again, in the training, I would not change the default date. So here, because the way Loop is set up, because we put that this was a East Longmeadow, Massachusetts listing, it automatically picked the Massachusetts escrow. If you typed in Nassau, New Hampshire, it would automatically pick New Hampshire escrow. Okay. So, and the reason why it says new is because Enterprise Bank got bought out by Rockland Trust. And so we just tied in, this is the new one. If you go to the drop down, there's really it's giving you, we picked it for you. We're trying to do all the work for you. So it goes by the address that you put in here, the state. So we're just going to continue. Now you're going to request this. Now, what I like about it is this is a summary of what you've done so far. So we know what it is, $1,000, the address, where the escrow is going. And this is why I say that you as the list agent should initiate this to the buyer agent, because when you set this up, you're setting it up that the buyer's funds will go directly into the LAER Massachusetts escrow account. So now you're going to always request through the buyer agent. If you're a list agent, you are never going to directly contact the buyer. That is a no-no. And so what you're going to do is you are going to request this. So if you start putting in the email, now because this is attached to the MLS, I just put in one of our agents in this office email, and it automatically pulls and fills in this information. So it's got his name, it's got the company he works with. Again, you're just going to hit continue, and then you're going to add the sale price and the closing date. Reference code, you could put in here earnest money deposit. You could just put EMD, or you could put EMD and PNS. It's up to you. I would definitely, this helps accounting to put the MLS number. You don't have to, but I would put the MLS number, and then you're going to continue. And now you're just going to review and confirm. So we're asking for earnest money deposit. This is the address. This is where the monies is coming, and payment deadline. We're sending it to Peter Marino, the request. And under memo, I would just put EMD again. This really helps the accounting department under memo. And then you're just going to request the payment. Now, what happens is Peter's going to get an email saying that you requested it. The buyer agent, has to open up the email, and it opens up where they can add their client's name and email address. So what I suggest is when you have requested the deposit to the buyer agent, I would just text the buyer agent saying, just sent you a request for EMD through DepositLink. Please open and forward to your client, because they can't just forward it. They need to open it, obviously, because we don't have the email of the client, and then we need to, they forward it to them. The client then opens it up and fills in all the information and then submits it. So I just want to go over a couple of things. This here is a copy link, which if you're a team leader and you're doing it for your team member or the other way around, you can copy the link and then you can email them. Here's a link of the request. So you can do that as well. Now, I just want to go into, if you go to view details, if you made a mistake and you need to cancel it, maybe the earnest money deposit was supposed to be 1,500, you could copy the link, you can resend the email, you could go in and fix this and then resend it. You can cancel the payment. So that's a couple of things I wanted to show you, but I wanted to explain that you can actually print this, download receipt. So I don't know if this is what the receipt will actually look like. I think it's a really great idea to download this and then upload it into your loop. I think it just helps. And look how I like the way it's all right there, what it's for. Notice how under memo, this is not a required field. So if you left this blank, this would be blank. But this really does help accounting to let them know, is this EMD deposit or is this P&S deposit or is it both? Let them know. Notice how it's going into the right account. It's in the Rockland Trust Company. It's the checking account number. So I love this feature. I think it's a great feature. Just download and then upload it into your loop. So I wanted to go over that. Now under deals, these are all of the deals that are going on right now. And you're going to see so there's initiated, which is what we just did. So the process is when you initiate the request, it's going to be initiated. When the client sends it to their buyer and the buyer fills it out, then it goes into pending. Now, pending means that the buyer did open up the email, attached his account number and the amount, and he sent it back. So now it's on its way back to LAER to go right into our earnest money deposit. See, so here's requested. That means you just requested. Here's pending, and then it goes into pending, and then pending, it goes into funds arriving, and then you have cleared, where it actually cleared into the LAER account. Now, if you don't know, I can look up anybody's name, but you'll notice that most of these, if we go into an office, I'm going to go into the Andover office. You'll notice that almost every one of these is your LAER email. Like I said, if you don't, you have to use the email that we signed you up with, and 99% of the time, 90% of the time, it's your LAER email, unless you're Florida. Florida, Stacy allowed them to use the email that they're most used to. So basically that is it. So if you could go in, so now let's go in and request an earnest money deposit. And now I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 test because I want to now ask for the P&S deposit. So a couple of days later, maybe a week later, you're not going to create another one. You just put it in and it's going to say, or click checkbox to continue without one. So let me see this. Let me go deals. Let me go to transaction, property address. I want to just do one that I know of. Is this what I called it? Checkbox. Let me go to one here. I have another one in here. It's test. 1, 2, 3 test East Longmeadow. So let me try this. So all right. I don't know why it's doing that. So let's go back. But we did do one, if you notice, I don't know why it's saying that. Sometimes it does go down, but very rarely does it go down. So What you could do is if you want to do another one, again, you're just going to put this in and it's going to say request another one. Now you can do commission checks through these two, request a commission from another brokerage to you. Again, you're just going to fill in the prompts. I'll just do that one. Let's see, we're going to enter it manually. So enter a property address or click the checkbox to continue without one. So an existing deal or create a new deal. That's the checkbox they were talking about. So you would do, let's say we want to do this one. We've already created it. We're going to go on. You're going to send, it's really that simple. You're going to send the amount that you're, let's say 5,000 is your commission. You're going to give them a payment deadline. The listing company, so you're going to select a payer. You want the listing company, obviously. If you're the buyer agent, enter payer details. This is, you need to know who, like at Coldwell Banker, who they need. So you're going to have to, if you want to use DepositLink to get your commission statement, you're going to have to talk to the listing agent and ask them saying, I'm going to submit my commission through DepositLink. I need an address of your accounting. Who's going to get it? Blah, 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 blah. So you would fill that in. You definitely need that. You definitely want to put in a memo saying my commission, and you need an email address because this is going to go to the payer. This is going to go to Coldwell Banker's accounting. So they would need that. Now, if they want to send your commission through DepositLink, you have to send it. The email address that the payee needs to do is happyagent@laerrealty.com. So if you wanted, you're the buyer agent and they're going to send you this, you have to put that the payer details is happy agent because they will get notified that we have an incoming monies and we have to then accept the monies. Then they have to verify that they did send it to us and then it's in DepositLink. So basically it's in here, gives you, I mean, that's literally it. I mean, there's really not much to go on. You can request rentals, rental deposit directly from tenant or through a tenant's agent. Request a commission from a tenant, landlord, or other third party. So however you're getting paid, you can do it this way. You can under rental, it's really cool because if the deposit was 5,000 and there's two roommates coming in, you could split that and send an email to one deposit to one tenant for 250,000. I mean, for 2,500, and then do the other tenant for 2,500. So it has a great ability for rentals. If you're having, three, maybe there's three or four tenants and they're splitting the $10,000 rental, then you can set this up in DepositLink. So right now, at this time, I just want to see if anybody has any questions because I mean, it's that easy. It is so easy. Basically, you just log in, you go to deals, you go to request a payment, and then you basically just fill in the blanks. That's how simple it is. It's really not a long training. And again, you can do this for all states. Florida, this is set up for Florida. I'll show you the offices. We have Florida in here. So it's for New Hampshire. I have Maine in here. I have Connecticut in here. Wallingford, Connecticut is in here. So this has been set up for all of our offices and all the different states we're in. So you can do that. And so I just want to see if we have any, I mean, literally, that's all I mean, there's really not a whole lot of training to do this unless anybody has a question. Other than that, I think we're good. It's really only a half-hour training. What I do suggest is if you have any questions whatsoever, if you run into a problem, just email happyagent@laerrealty.com. That's happyagent@laerrealty.com. And they will forward your email to me and I'll help you. So you want to go to that. But again, it's so easy. If you're on the road and say you're vacationing, if you call the office, any of the 800 numbers, I can do this for you. If for some reason you're on vacationing and you need to do it and you don't have to, but literally it's so easy. And you can do it, and I say you could do it under a minute, but I don't know. I think you could, but Leah Gibson, I just wanted to thank you for coming. Lindsay, I want to thank you for joining us again. And welcome to November. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. And until next time, have a great November. Thank you, everybody.